Pierre Schreier. Never a finer fiddler ever was in Canada.
The good old Pierre.
Le good old Pierre, otherwise known as Sick Boy.
Why did they call him Sick Boy?
It's a name I gave him in Shetland.
Did he Shetland in his pants?
Yes, he did. Welcome, one and all. Happy Wednesday. It's time for String Theory. I'm JP Cormier. It's Chris Coote. How are you guys doing? The online YouTube weekly show that's been going on for 9,000 years now.
Almost live.
Almost live. And a special shout out to our great partners in this show, Boucher Guitars, Levy's Leather Straps. Don't kill the music too much there, Ginger.
He's resetting.
G&G Music in Eddie Fantasy Music in Halifax. Glenn Gotel, Stephen McNeil, not the premier.
The musical premier.
K&K Sound, best pickups on the planet.
Awesome.
Gallagher Guitars, Recording King Alvarez Yeri, Yamaha Music Canada. Joshua House, one of our great luthiers here in Canada in Goderich, Ontario. Apollo Picks.
Right there.
Nick, I'm not giving that one away, boys. That's a sweetheart. Tone Right, Close Guitars, the world's, in my opinion, the world's best carbon fiber instruments.
They're a nifty trick.
They certainly are. Opry Music Store, Vince Mullen in Mirror Machine in Brunswick. Thank you, Vince. Cody Guitars, our very own builder of electric premium custom
Field,
guitars.
Nova Scotia.
Yes, sir. James Martin Instruments over in Ireland. God knows that guy can build guitars.
Yes, sir.
Audio Sprockets and James May. Diodario or a Dadario. You know, I've never... There's so much...
Dadario.
Yeah, but there's...
Tomato. He's resetting again.
Brick House Guitars in Kitchener, Ontario. And our newest partner, my close friend and tremendous musician, Dakota Mcnamara, starting his new custom armrest company called The Arc, Acoustic Resonance Comfort. That's pretty cool, man.
It is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
It's a good idea made way
Yes, sir.
better.
Yeah. So, the lovely Ginger is in the house.
She is. She's
Probably
right
with
behind
the
us.
microphone.
What? What happened?
Yeah, the reason that's falling is because it's...
I know it's so far
well, I'm
extended.
just gonna go.
Yeah, fix
I'm
that.
just gonna go and fix it for Ginger. Excuse me, everybody.
Yeah, we have to have a talk with the mic stand.
Yeah.
It's not that, Chris. Push the arm back through the hole.
That works. There we go. We're good now.
Okay.
There you go.
You just manhandled it a little bit.
Are
Yes.
you enjoying this microphone right now, Ginger?
I am now.
All right.
Thank you.
What
See
are you
that?
drinking over there, Ginger?
I have a harp.
Let's see.
A little harp action.
Happy harp.
A little harpy harp.
All right. So from there we will go to Capo Corner, and sadly, Capo Corner this week again is for someone that we have lost in the music business. One of the most important innovators on the banjo who ever lived, Sonny Osborne, passed away about 4 or 5 days ago now, and of a stroke. He was 83 years old, and he was long retired, but still incredibly active in teaching younger players. He had designed his own brand of banjo, the Chief, and I knew Sonny. I got a chance to hang around with the Osborne brothers when I was a boy, and he made a tremendous impression on me. And also, I was telling Ginger tonight, we were watching a documentary about the Osborne brothers, and I said to Ginger, "You realize this why I wear this goatee, and that's why."
Is it really?
Yeah, because he was just the coolest looking guy ever in bluegrass.
Didn't translate very well.
No, it didn't. I don't carry it well, but he did.
I couldn't resist that shot.
Yeah. So here's to Sonny Osborne.
Here's to Sonny.
Banjo heads eternum. Here's to Sonny. He'll never be forgotten. His mark on the music is absolutely forever. There's no way to even describe it.
Sonny.
So there you go.
On a happier note.
On a happier note,
Guess whose birthday it is today?
whose birthday is it?
It's our very own
Gus Gunning's
That's
birthday
right.
today.
Gus Manson.
Gus Manson.
It's his birthday today.
It is Gus Bundy.
Gus Bundy, yes, sir. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Gus.
Good old Gus Voorhees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a scary dude.
yeah, he's the weest child of our brother David.
Yeah.
And it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Gus. And I'm not going to sing you happy birthday because you might not like it and come to my house and kill me with a machete, but that's okay.
Yeah. Save us a piece of cake, or don't,
Or don't.
eat
Just
it all yourself.
Yeah,
Enjoy
yeah.
it.
Just have it all.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
look at
I
his
hope
eyes.
he's not looking at us right now.
Don't look at his eyes.
You can have the tomato. It's
Yeah.
the last one.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
have all of it, Gus.
You can enjoy this tomato right now, Gus.
Please don't hurt us in our sleep.
A little bit of an inside joke there, I guess.
So there you go. Cheers to
Gus.
Gus. Here's to Gus and our buddy David, who's coming down to see us tomorrow. Apparently, he couldn't get away because his son's having a birthday.
Gus.
You don't want to ignore Gus.
No.
No, that's a bad move. Yeah, yeah.
Don't ever make eye contact.
Stay above his eye
Just-
at all times.
Just bow when you see him.
When you see him, just try to make yourself look really big and back
Yeah,
away.
Try and make yourself the same color as the foliage
Yeah,
surrounding it.
that's right. And if you're standing in front of a couch, grow leather out of your ass. And just stand very still.
Yeah.
So,
The Gunnings have such a reputation of being scary people.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
they are, yeah.
There you go.
Love you. Glad you're back. Who has the first question, Ginger?
Darren Murray.
Darren Murray.
He's not
God
new.
bless your heart and all your volatile,
organs.
all your volatile organs.
Volatile.
Chris has a few volatile organs. He demonstrated them before the show.
I see.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
we could play that game all night.
Yeah.
That's a game no one wins.
Nobody wins that
No.
game.
Especially not when Ginger's playing.
That's correct. Okay. Next. Okay, go ahead.
So he says, "Hey JP, just wondering if you got your new Orangewood guitar. Is it
I
all they
didn't.
say it is, or is it all like?"
I'm still waiting for it. It has been shipped, and I find this kind of strange. They spent how many years not shipping outside of the United States, right?
Right.
Or maybe just not shipping to Canada, I guess. And suddenly, there's an orangewood.ca, right? So that's where and this also kind of sucks. They don't have all the models on Orange. No.
Really?
Very limited choice of guitars that you can get on orangewood.ca. So I ordered the most popular one, the all solid mahogany, the all mahogany OM, which has received rave reviews. So, but it ships from California. So I don't understand what they're doing. They should, by all intents and purposes, maybe we should offer. They should have a depot here.
Distribution.
Yes, they should have a distribution hub here. Maybe that's us. Maybe I'll call them up and go, hey, ship me up 100 guitars, I'll sell them all. Because they probably
We
could.
could put them in the shed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Out with the motorboats and the gophers,
Yeah.
the raccoon shit.
And the squirrels.
Yeah. That may be where mine ends
don't
up
think-
after a
I don't think
review.
that's
I
a
don't
good
know.
fit.
I'm not making any promises, Orangewood. I'm just,
Not making
Now-
any threats.
Yeah, watch now. They're going to call it back. It's halfway across America in a
Yeah.
FedEx truck. No, hopefully, I'm really looking forward to getting it. It was shipped a week ago at least, so I'm hoping. And it was only, what was it, Ginger? $300.
I'm not sure.
I think it was $300 with the shipping and everything. That's ridiculous.
Hopefully it's killer.
I hope it is too.
Was that including the GST? Because you've always got to.
Well, you can't. There'll be no GST on it because it's an American product. There may well be duty.
No,
but
there will
not-
be GST.
No, you don't pay GST on American products. No, you only pay duty, and I found out recently that the duty on stuff is not based on the price of it. It's based on what it is.
On the classification.
Yes, and that sucks because it's a possibility might get to the border. A $300 guitar cost me $300 to get it over the border
What happened
because
with
it's
the
a
string?
guitar, not because it's worth a lot of money. Because it's a guitar.
It's still
So
assessed to value though.
yeah, based
that.
on what it is, and so that sucks. Anyhow,
Speaking of border-
we will be waiting for it. We are waiting with bated breaths to to get here.
Speaking of the border,
Yes.
what about that show on Sunday?
Yeah. What
Holy
about the border?
shit balls.
Yeah.
Those boys were good.
Montgomery Street's one of the best live string bands I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They're just on fire.
Yeah. They
And,
weren't very nice though while they were here.
No,
they were
they
slightly
were-
abusive.
Yeah, they were pretty arseholy.
Yeah, they got a bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Especially that bass player. He punched me right in the guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, for nothing.
All I said
was, "Do you want a taco?" And he fucking just
Yeah.
plowed me, right? Everybody was having tacos, wasn't? I just didn't pick him out,
Right?
of the crowd.
Yeah.
Next.
How did we get there?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Next question is Roger Bootlier.
Does that got to be new?
Maybe.
Roger Bootlier.
I'll say he's not new.
I don't. I think he is. I recognize that name because I grew up with Bootliers
I think
and played music with them when I was a kid.
Your
So
reputation for knowing who's new is not good.
okay,
Who are you talking about?
I suck. Roger Bootlier, go for it. What do you got?
What's your opinion on Eastman guitars?
I've answered that question multiple times, and I always the same answer. I love them.
You
Still.
elaborate.
I still love them, and I'm wishing I could get a deal with them so I could get them in here for review because they make some of the nicest guitars in the world. And I met the guy from China who owns that company. He makes 2.5 million guitars a year. He owns not only Eastman but Cort and he owns
Right.
the entire conglomeration, right?
The whole slice
I
of
actually
pie.
met him.
The whole pie.
Yeah,
In different slices.
This guy's so wealthy. His companies are so wealthy that he buys a dozen bouchers from Robin every year, just to sell in China to special clients, and he buys wood from Robin, and you know what I mean? Like this guy, and Robin and I and him had a meeting at the NAMM show in Anaheim. The month before the pandemic started in January of 2020, and where I actually got COVID. It was at that show, and it was really difficult. I was just praying that I could get something with him, but he's the man is some billionaire and just he runs his business, and I don't know if he really sees the value in Joe Blow, dildo guy
Joe Blow Cormier.
in the woods over here with two dogs and a
JB Cormier.
yeah, in a sausage factory, reviewing his guitars.
Yeah.
Just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So
This is not a game. Of
yeah,
who the fuck are
this
you.
is not a game. So yeah, but hopefully someday I will be able to because I would really love to add Eastman as a partner. They're a guitar, in my opinion, that the guitar world right now is amazing. What's going on?
It's
right?
slamming right now.
It's incredible. So you've got companies like Recording King and Orangewood and Epiphone and these companies that are putting out these just unbelievably high value guitars for no money. And then you've got companies like Boucher, Gallagher, Thompson, Hassan Dalton that are at the top of the game, and they're high-end guitars, but they're still not even expensive as Martins and Gibsons and Taylors.
Right.
But they're handmade, right? And then in the middle, you have companies like Eastman who are building guitars that are around $2,000 to $3,000 maybe, and Yamaha fits in this category, the L series guitars. You can spend $2,000 to $4,000 for a Yamaha or an Eastman or a Yeri, another company that's just unbelievable, making unbelievable guitars for that price point, that sits in between those two echelons. And all it does is it doesn't change the market. What it does is it gives the players all this choice based upon their budget. So if you don't have a lot of money, you can buy the lower end and get incredible lifetime guitars. If you have a bit more, you can go into that echelon with Eastman, Yeri, Yamaha, and get heirloom quality instruments. And if you have a ton of money, you start to go to Boucher, you start to go to Collings, and these instruments they're museum pieces, right? They're that good. And So the market right now is incredible, and to be quite honest, unless I see otherwise, I've really not seen any guitars in the past 2 years that I would consider bad. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously there are ones that are.
Yeah.
You know, you get Denvers, and they're just for beginner players. You get these really
Estebans.
Beaver Creek and those kind of guitars that cost $100, and that's what they are. They're plywood toy guitars for kids to learn on and destroy if they want to, right?
Yeah.
But the serious names, right? The Fender, even Fender, is now building
Great guitars.
$1,000 guitars, acoustic, that are just fucking amazing guitars.
Yeah.
So you've got all these companies that are just putting out these instruments that give the player the
choice.
best, and the best of all worlds, right? And so, Eastman is definitely, absolutely, 100% part of that, and it's what I'm making a living on right now, is telling people about that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I get, you wouldn't believe the messages I get every day. I could read them. Like I probably have 25 of them on here right now from people like, you know, I just bought my Inspired by Gibson J45. I just bought my Yamaha LJ26. I just bought my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's going out and finding those instruments that aren't the big three makers, but still blowing their socks off, right?
There's so much choice, and in a lot of ways, the higher end of the boutique guitar market is, in my opinion, way better than the Gibsons.
Oh
and
my
Martins.
God! Oh my God! Yes, yeah,
Way better.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something to be said, obviously, for a guitar, and I've said this 1,000 times. There's something to be said for a guitar that's built by a single builder with a small, and I mean small, I mean 6 to 12 people, sometimes less, building a single instrument for a player or a shop that they love, that they want to hang it on the wall in there. There's just something really magic about that, right? And that's a beautiful thing. So,
Thank you, pandemic.
yes, thank you, pandemic. Cut.
We have a super chat from Jim Hanlon.
Jimmy Triple J Hanlon,
The double J, triple J.
the Germinator,
The Germinator.
What?
the cleaner of houses, the stealer of picks, the rearranger of capos. Jim Hanlon. Every time he comes here and gets drunk, he cleans the entire studio. Holy shit!
How are you, Jimmy?
Love you, Jim.
Happy Wednesday, brother.
He says, "Who's next for live at Ginger's Barn?"
We have a massive
We
list.
had this talk.
Yeah, we have a massive list of players that we wanted to get in and start to do. I mean, we plan to do live at Ginger's Barn every single Sunday of the month as a regular, just like Up Home Tonight. I wanted a weekly TV show.
Yeah.
But the lockdowns and the pandemic and all this other shit and the vaccines and the passports and blah 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 blah. Pretty soon you can't get the people you want.
No.
But things are happening now. We're like 80% vaccinated in this province, which is awesome. The other 200,000 people, well, there's a lot of those people that can't have it, or are too young to have it.
Not for long.
And the Montgomery Street Boys really did inspire us and light a fire.
They did
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous program. It's a tremendous. It's one of my lifelong dreams is to host a show like that. Mm-hmm. Just like we did it, you know, little comedy. I get to play with the guys a little bit.
Very little comedy.
Very little comedy. and do a show that features artists that need to be seen in this setting. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between playing in this room, and playing on a television set or a festival stage
or a soft seater.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is when you're seeing guys like that in this room. There's no way to hide any warts. It's them. There's two mics in the room, and that's it. And that's what you got.
Yeah.
And they killed it.
They did.
Because they sound fantastic as a unit, right?
Yeah.
And it's my hope that that I can actually continue to do shows like that and provide a serious paycheck. We did really well. We were able to pay them over $1,600 to
Good
come
payday
here.
for a Sunday afternoon.
And they don't get that kind of payday
Yeah.
very often. And that is fantastic, and it's all because of you guys that happened. And so, I mean,
They were all killer players in their own right.
yeah,
They were
Yeah.
all genuinely nice guys,
gentlemen, total gentlemen.
and they just the honesty in the playing and the joy that was in this room.
Yeah, it was
It was
magic.
infectious. Yeah.
And when they had to go back to Fredericton, but we sat here and drank scotch and
Had some laughs.
and laughed and listened to music, and
Yeah.
they're just to me they're just kids, except for the bass player. He's a little older than them, right? But he's
Jason.
he's been around.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's a highly
Did you see
trained.
the switchblade he was
Yeah, he's a
backing?
hot. Yeah, and yeah. Don't even tell me.
I know.
And when he hit you with that blackjack, I thought you weren't ever going to get up. I don't know, man. Ken next.
That took a turn. Very suddenly.
Poor Jason.
We love you, Jason.
Got a super chat from Jeff Galland.
Jeff Gallon.
Monsieur Gallon.
Jeff Gallon.
Happy Wednesday, bro.
Jeff Gallant. He's wearing blue pants. Jeff Gallant.
And my hat. Stole my hat.
Probably stole your hat.
He
Jeff
did.
Gallant. He has a pet pig. Jeff Gallant. He's a fan of ours. Big. Jesus, that thing sounds
I
good.
know.
That's wicked guitar.
I've
That's
got a little
close.
Chinese spice barbecue rub that would go awfully good on that pig.
Oh, Jesus. You didn't go there.
That's
did you?
dark.
Oh, you
Sorry,
shouldn't have
Jeff.
said- no,
I
you
didn't mean
shouldn't.
that.
No, Jeff,
Yeah. I saw pictures of the pig.
Jeff just
So
lost
cute.
his dog
I know.
too.
I know.
Which is like I have nightmares about losing either of these dogs to old age and whatnot, right? Like,
I well know.
so we can't eat his pig.
All right.
There's no pig eating.
Okay, Jeff. I'll go to the grocery store. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. What's the question?
He said, speaking of pigs, did you see my video of my pig Lionel?
Yes,
yes,
we did.
We did. We
And-
watched
We
one.
did.
There's more. And did Giant Tiger have a sale on spiffy shirts?
Oh,
burn.
so he's gonna burn
Oh,
us.
burn.
Oh, maybe
Oh.
we should write a new song.
Yeah.
Called Jeff Gallant Can Kiss My Arse. How about that
My
one?
lily white arse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
we bought these at the Valou Village.
Veloux Village.
Yeah.
I've actually had this Scully for probably better than 15 years.
I've been wearing Scullies for at least that long.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
Some of my oldest ones.
Next
are
time
probably
we
20
go
years
over
old.
PEI, we'll have to see if Monsieur Galland
Yeah.
has his own Scully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll just
Spiffy
have
shirt
a.
contest.
Don't go there.
Yeah. Okay. Never
Don't go
mind.
there. Yes, something happened and I just decided to put on a fancy Scully and
Yeah, and then he walks
I-
over and says, "Get you one of your Scullies." I said, "Okay."
Okay, so
So
here,
here
we
we
are.
go.
Glad you
is
like
it.
our shirts, Jeff. Thank you.
Scullying it up.
Yeah.
Next.
We have a question from 3-Card Monty.
3-card Monty. Geez, I haven't heard from you forever.
Congrats.
Awesome. Nice to have you back.
Whatever happened to Anne Murray?
What?
Whatever happened to Anne Murray?
Nothing.
think
She's
she-
in her
I think-
bottle
I
of
think-
formaldehyde.
I think she joined a lesbian commune and is now a Hare Krishna.
What?
Last time I saw her, she was in her bottle of formaldehyde in the museum up there in Spring Hill.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, her head's up there. I think, in a jar.
No, they had the whole. They had.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the Anne
my
Marie
God.
fetus.
I don't know where Anne Marie is. You don't hear much
Who
about Anne
gives a
Marie.
fuck? Okay, next.
Easy.
Wow.
Took so many turns.
Yeah, your honesty is astounding. It's not a very good Wednesday night, people. It's cold out and rainy out, and we're a little off.
I don't like Anne Marie, so go ahead.
People a little sour here tonight. My goodness. Next is from Caleb Hawkins.
Caleb.
How do you like the new Norman Blake album?
I have not heard the new Norman Blake album,
have I.
and I'm dying to. It just came on the streaming services. Norman Blake's like 100 years old, and but I'm pretty sure that I also know about. He's not 100, but he's in his 80s, and Norman Blake is one of the biggest perfectionists that ever played, and he's. I suspect that this record is going to be ridiculously good. I'm a little afraid to hear it in case it's not, because he's that old that he may. I don't know if he's lost anything, but knowing Norman, he probably went in the studio and worked his balls off.
Yeah.
Even at his advanced age, where he doesn't even, the man's wealthy. He's done
Doesn't need
very
to do it.
well. No, he doesn't need to do it, and that says something about him. Is that his audience still matters to him, and I love Norman Blake. I always have loved Norman Blake. A lot of guitar players sometimes discount Norman Blake because he's not the flash, look at me guy, right? He's just a really cool player, and he always has been, and he's a great mandolin player, great guitar player, great singer, fantastic songwriter. He's written some killer songs, and been recorded by Johnny. He played dobro for Johnny Cash for 10 or 15 years. He was on the original Will the Circle Be Unbroken album with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band that came out in the 70s. The man has done everything.
Yeah.
Right? And he lived, it was really weird. He lived not too far from me, apparently. When I was living in Alabama. He lived up in northern Alabama at the time, I think. I kept hearing rumors that he lived up around Athens, and I don't know where he is now. And but also, it should be mentioned that his wife, Nancy, is also an incredible musician, a cellist that has played on some of his albums over the past 40 years, that like she really created something that had never been done before, playing a cello in bluegrass music and traditional music. And so here's to Norman Blake, one of the greatest musicians in Americana ever. And
He's done it all. And
He's
is
done
back
it all,
doing it again.
and back doing it again. I think he's like 85 or something like that. He's well up in years. And I am going to listen to that album. Matter of fact, I might stream it tonight after the show.
Or tomorrow while
What
Dave's
else
here.
is coming out on streaming services soon, John?
Our album, right?
Yeah.
Our album, Us,
Us.
comes out on November the 15th, right?
Yeah.
This album right here
Us.
is coming right out on Spotify, Apple Music, kissmyarse.com, and this is the name of the album.
Us.
And we're very proud to have presented this album called
Us.
To You.
From all of us.
And to tell the truth, Chris and Ginger are both on this album, on the title cut.
Everybody's on this. Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a great record. I'm actually very proud of this album.
And there's even a shout out to Miles.
I was with my
yes.
yes, there is, yeah. I was with my accountant today, and I gave him a copy of this the last time I saw him, and he was blown away by it. And you touched on every single social issue that exists.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, that wasn't the plan at all.
No.
Because you know me.
Yeah.
You've lived through every one. This is my 19th record. You've
Yeah.
been around for all of them. And I'm just not a very social. Well, I am.
There's a lot of great, thoughtful tunes on that record.
There is. And I told Rob, I was like, the reason that they're there is because that's what came out that was good enough for the album. And it just happened to be those songs.
But it was also, it's a different album for you because the time was different that we were living in. You were home.
Yeah. And when I was
You
making
weren't
that
traveling.
record, I wasn't sure if I'd ever be on the road again.
Right.
I wasn't sure if there's really important people in my life that I was not sure, and some I'm still not sure if I'll ever see them again. I don't know if I'll ever travel overseas again. I don't know that.
Ginger and I would drag you over there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get, I just don't know. And that's a bit frightening because there's been a lot of people involved.
Don't be scared, little boy.
Yeah, I know. Just because you're a hotshot, Top Gun pilot, don't mean shit to me. You can do what you want, but I don't. Doesn't give me any special skills.
Any special powers? You're
Any
special.
special sauce. Okay, next.
Oh dear. We have a super chat from Mark Smith.
Mark Smith.
New?
No.
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 Not at all.
No, I recognize the name. Mark Smith.
Happy
In
Wednesday,
your
Mark.
opinion, would you rather pre-CBS Strat or Telly, or just a good old Chet Atkins Gretsch?
Oh, there's no question. It's a Gretsch.
I'd go for
I
the
don't-
telly.
I
I'd go
don't-
for the pre-CBS telly.
No, I don't own a Gretsch
Smith.
right now, and it's really killing me.
Yeah, but that's why you.
I own a
Gretsch
great guitar. I have a Yamaha the new Yamaha. It's not a Pacifica, but it's that style of guitar.
Yeah.
It's brand new model. I'm sorry, Terry. I don't know what the friggin' model name of it is, but it is ridiculously good. And of course, it's a Yamaha, right? They just make friggin' brilliant guitars.
But you're having a Gretsch.
I am, and I'm gonna have. What I'm gonna do eventually is just order a '59 reissue, and I'll sell enough stuff here to buy it because they're about $3,000.
I've got a Gretsch resonator.
Yeah,
down
I
in
know.
Boathouse right now.
I've heard about that. But the '59 reissue is the guitar that I once had and shouldn't have sold it. And I sold it to a very close friend of mine. Callahoola Brown has it.
Maybe we'll just drive down and take it.
Yeah, he's pretty weak. He's
Sit
had
down
about
in the middle of the
19
night.
strokes. And
Yeah.
he walks with 4 canes.
There's no way he can keep up to us.
No,
You only have one cane.
no.
You could probably take him.
Yeah, I
but
could take
He's
him.
not even on his cane most of the time now.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
doing quite well, thank you.
Next, let's enjoy a new one right now.
Let's enjoy a new
Let's enjoy a new question
This
right now.
tonight's show is brought to you by Golden Gate Westinghouse butter biscuits
Made by General
made
Electric.
by General Electric. They are 35 watts and full of flavor,
And have niacin and riboflavin in every one.
and also vitamin B12. We
Enjoying some
right
earlier.
now.
So we have another super chat from Sonia H.
Know that name?
Repair question for Chris or JP.
Okay.
What type of glue should I use for a lifting pickguard? It may be real tortoiseshell. It's from the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tell her the truth.
If you the plastic of the pickguard is shrunk, and that's why it's coming undone.
Yeah.
And depending on what they put it down with, you have to be really careful getting it off. But once you get it off, there's only one way really to put it back on, and that's a double-sided adhesive that's made just for that for that
3M.
occasion. It's a
3M
3M
mix.
product.
Yeah.
And it's basically double-sided tape, but it's on steroids.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for some stock of some to come in because we have 2 pickguards for you, and I've got a
Yes.
pickguard for Larry Reindress that
Yeah.
on his Martin that
Yeah.
has to go back down.
So generally, you would lift the pickguard off with
Yeah.
a hair dryer.
yeah, soften it up.
You gotta heat it up so that you can pull it off without tearing the wood off the top
Or the finish.
or the finish, and that's how you would do it, very, very slowly.
Get all
With
the old
with-
adhesive off.
Yeah, with a blunt lever, not
Yeah.
a sharp lever, something that's blunt.
Yep, a blunt spudgeon.
Yeah, they can get underneath the edge of it and heat it, and gently pry, heat it, and it takes a long time.
It does.
It can take up to an hour to remove a pickguard safely.
So she'd have to remove it completely and then re-glue
Yes,
it. Can't just
that's
glue
the
it
only
again.
way you can do it, because we had this conversation a few days ago, and I told Chris the same thing. I said, why couldn't we just inject an adhesive under the shitty part?
Right.
And his answer was, and quite brilliant, you can't mix 2 different types of adhesive because you don't know what it's going to do to the material of the pickguard or the top. So you got to use a dedicated type of
You
adhesive.
start over.
Yeah, and the 3M product comes in an 8x11.5 sheet, and it's only $4.
Yeah.
And that's what they use to put pickguards on everywhere.
Yeah.
So you just have to get it off, and a real good trick that nobody ever talks about. When you have it off, find the 2 heaviest books in your house that will fit in your microwave, and put the pickguard in between the two books and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And the weight of the books will squash it flat again, right? And don't
That's after you've cleaned all the old adhesive
I'll
off
take
it.
all the adhesive off it with alcohol, and then put it in there and under the heaviest books you have.
Yeah.
And when it's done, don't take it out right away. Leave it in there until
Let
it's
it cool.
cool.
Yeah.
And then gently pick up the top book and pull it out, and it should be completely flat again.
Yeah. Now, depending on what it was put on with and what residue is left over, you've got to clean that off the pickguard and off the guitar, but you need to figure out what that is, because you're going to need to use a base that dissolves that
type of adhesive.
Yeah. So you can't go crazy on either the pickguard or the guitar, because you could do damage if you're. Alcohol is a good starting point.
But there is actually products
There is, and
that are designed to remove
if it's
glue.
being put down with a like the 3M, if you find that it's being put down with that kind of sticky product, what will work wonders on the pickguard, not the wood on the guitar, the finish on the guitar, but just on the pickguard, WD-40.
Yeah.
It'll dissolve that into a nice slurry, and you can wipe it right off,
Yeah.
and you won't harm the plastic that way.
Yeah.
But before you would put the new stuff on, you've got to degrease it with something like alcohol
Yep.
and hot soapy water. Make sure it's perfectly clean again, because the WD-40, if you do use that, petroleum based, and
It'll stay there.
Yeah, it'll lubricate nothing will stick.
And the other thing you got to realize is you can't take you can't put elbow grease into the adhesive on the top of the guitar. You
No.
literally have to go over with a Q-tip
Yeah.
and make sure that all of the adhesive out of the grain.
Yeah.
And with a Q-tip, you can't just go with something that's not healthy for the top. You could damage the top because there's going to be no finish underneath there, and you don't want to do something that penetrates the wood,
Right.
because that could damage the sound of the guitar. It's a complicated process
Yeah, it's not-
in certain ways.
Yeah.
But
Depends on the age of the guitar.
yes, if the top is well aged, you won't have a problem. If it's
Yeah.
a new guitar, you could have a ton of problems.
Yeah.
Because you're when you pull that up, it's bare unfinished wood that hasn't aged yet.
Yeah.
And so there's all kinds of variables. So you got to be very careful and get it done by somebody who
Somebody
really
you
knows
trust.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just get anybody to do that. It's one of the most difficult jobs,
And if you-
unbelievably, that you can do.
You can really do some damage if you get too much heat on it. You'll shrivel up the pickguard.
Yeah.
You'll twist that all up,
Yeah.
or you could start boiling the finish on your
Yep.
guitar. Too,
I've even
get overheating
seen
that.
guys heat the top up so much that the rosette around the sound hole has separated inside the finish. It separates, and then you've got that's a serious problem.
If you don't think you're going to
Yeah.
be comfortable doing it, don't do it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Next, and this is a hot house ginger brand.
It's the last of the Mohicans.
last of the tomato hecans.
From Ginger's Organic Garden.
Super chat from Jeff.
Jeff.
Galon.
Again with the Jeff.
He says Lionel has just learned Pig Latin,
Jesus.
Of course he has.
and he says you guys are first class
Arseholes.
Arse Ol Hayes.
Awesome.
Okay, next.
Dear. Who we got? Rexomatic.
That's
new.
Rexomatic.
Rex
I wonder if that's Rex McGee,
I don't know.
great banjo player from the South I used to hang around with.
Rexomatic.
Sounds
He
like,
says, have you played a Martin CEO 7?
I don't know what that is.
Just got one, my first Martin. I really love it.
I've actually played many of the CEO model Martins. The CEO models are the guitars that come out once a year that are custom designed by the CEO of Martin. And I don't know who it is right now, but it's one of the grandsons of C.F. Martin and whatnot. There's been many of them over the years.
Emphasis on the whatnot.
Yeah. There's been many different guys over the years, and every year, since way back, 25 years at least, they've put out a CEO model. And I have played almost all of them. And I'm telling you, damn, They're limited edition.
Not
They're,
line built.
No.
Hand built?
No. Hand from the bench.
Yeah.
The custom shop is like 150 or 200 of them made, maybe. And I'm telling you, I've played some that just blew my face. Just like, whoa. And they're usually of a very simple design. They're like the latest one I saw was a 12 fret slope shoulder. I think mahogany with a dark tobacco top sunburst. And what a guitar. Holy shit. Like it's just, it harkens back to the days when every Martin was like that. You
So
know
it's
what I
not
mean? Like,
it's not a super duper every adornment or every
No.
option goes
Nope.
into it.
Nope.
It's a
nope.
it's a not a bare bones, but
Nope.
it's just a
Exactly.
basic machine.
And one of the CEOs, I think that I pretty sure it was a CEO model guitar, was actually basically a jumbo, a J200. Like I'm serious, a J200 body, sunburst, Martin on the headstock, like and a pointed like a J200.
Right.
Block fret markers. It was absolutely friggin' gorgeous, and sounded like a battleship taking off. Like it was just unbelievable.
A
A
battleship.
battleship
taking
off.
off.
What do you
Yeah.
think a battleship is?
A battleship can be a lot of stuff, but
Is it a
just,
spaceship?
yeah, just imagine a battleship pulling away from the keys.
I believe he's opened a
Battle-
can of worms with
Battlestar-
ginger.
Battlestar Galactica. Have you never seen it?
Cattlestar overacted.
Cattlestar over Attica. Next. Yes, the CEO models are wicked.
Battleship taking off. Oh dear.
We've aroused the ginger.
A lot of people in this room need to. Okay, go ahead.
We got a super chat from Ian Rossiter.
Ian Rossiter.
There's a nice name.
Yes, it is.
I see a question. I see a comment. Let's see. He says homework assignments coming along. Working on it between unpacking the house and 911 calls.
Cool.
Awesome.
What
He
was,
was
the,
learning.
What was the 911 call?
He's a you know,
Or the what was the homework assignment?
He
Sorry.
was learning something that you showed him. It was rag, wasn't it?
Black Mountain Rag.
Black Mountain rag.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
think.
All right.
Correctly.
It was something that Ian asked you to show him.
I think. You can be alright. Are you alright?
Is he
I got a question from the Happy Knot.
Happy cannot.
Do you guys feel April Wine was underrated? I think they should have been bigger. Drummer Jerry Mercer was also a great technical drummer, and I never see his name on Best Drummers of All Time list.
Jerry Mercer was just a machine
Oh yeah.
behind the drum kit. Yeah.
Miles Goodwin is one of my best friends, and do I think they're underrated? Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
I think that all bands like that, and I mean all of them, like April Wine, Triumph, Rush, BTO, Bachman, the Guess Who. Was it the Guess Who?
Guess who? Yeah.
These guys, all the Stampeders, these guys somehow were overshadowed by their American counterparts.
And did not have the U.S. success,
Exact-
except in the odd case.
In the odd case,
Yeah.
they all had some,
Yeah.
but they should have had
As time went
as
on,
much
they
as
had
any.
less in the
Yeah,
States.
exactly. And it wasn't really till bands like the Tragically Hip that they became viable on both sides of the border.
Yeah.
And I feel that's really sad because I mean, Jesus Christ, the level of musicianship in just that band is ridiculous. How
One of the
good
first
those
live
guys were.
concerts I ever saw was April Wine at the Metro Center.
And I mean, and Miles to this day, like I just did a show with him, I don't know, less than a year ago, a live stream show. I did a number with him, and the man is just still to this day like.
Still going.
Yeah, and he's a perfectionist, and he doesn't mess around. He play like he just. You can see, where the work ethic came from in that band, and I've done work with Burton Cummings, and I see him. Like I opened for him at Citadel Hill one time years ago, He walked out there by himself with a piano and
Killed
destroyed the audience
Yeah.
for an hour. And you just see these guys, and I've had the honor of getting to know Rick Emmett a little better over the last couple of years from Triumph. Again, a band that's just absolutely ridiculous, right? And it seems to me that it's like a disease that Canadian musicians get, where they're so friggin' good, they should be part of the American charts. They should be part of the American thing, but they never get there. They never get there.
The sad part of the story is they are so good, and they don't get the commercial play to make that break into the the U.S. in large part. But they end up going on and being the writers, the producers, the arrangers. They work behind the scenes for the American bands that do.
Yeah.
So, but
And it's another thing that I mean, don't even get me started on this. Like, the CRTC, bless their hearts,
bless their little hearts.
have made it possible for a lot of Canadians to get on the radio in Canada because they forced it.
But
right?
that's a double-edged sword.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
They forced Canadian radio to play 30% Canadian content, which it should be 50. But there's this resentment in the radio industry and stuff because of that.
Yeah.
And it somehow bleeds in across the southern border. Because we are so pissed off because we have to play a Lightfoot song every hour. We have to play a Rush thing. We have to play whatever. It's like the Americans look at that situation and go, why do we want guys that the government of Canada is forcing the radio station to play? You know what I mean? That's really what it is. It's a psychological bullshit thing that they look at how obviously these bands are as good or better than anything anywhere in the world. I mean, look how much success there is in the United States and in Canada with bands from the UK.
I think
You know what I mean?
that is
look
one
at
of
the
the
Beatles.
best-
Look at Herman's Hermits. Look at the Rolling Stones. Look at the UK. The UK has no problem coming into North America and getting hits on the radio, right? But you mentioned that you're from Winnipeg, and all of a sudden you're the dirty cousin with no clothes on,
But
no
isn't
shoes on
that
his feet,
isn't that
right?
great, as we discussed last week, about the times we're in today, where with the internet and everything available to an artist on the internet,
That's right.
that stuff is going in the past.
Yeah.
And what drives radio play now is what happens on the internet, really, to a big degree. And people breaking out online will drive radio play these days. And
to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
But that all helps to minimize the old machine.
Yeah. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to me. It has been all my life because I've been in the industry and I worked in the American industry and I saw how things worked down there and I saw how they saw us. And I saw, I'm a fan of all these bands here in Canada.
We were the redheaded stepchildren.
Yeah, we are. And that's a very unfortunate thing to say.
We're enjoying one right now.
But it's the absolute truth, and it's not fair. It's not fair. There's many artists that I know in Canada that should have equal consideration with the Grammys, the CMAs, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all of the American institutions. We should be getting recognized by that, but we cannot do it. And it's it is stacked against us because it's things like, okay, so you've had a #1 hit in Canada. Well, who's your label in the States? Well, we don't have one.
No. If it's Universal Canada, then it's Universal in the States. But
yeah, but if Universal's not selling the records,
no,
they can't show the SoundScan receipts and
right.
get nominated for a Grammy.
That's right.
Right? There should be all kinds of Canadian bands getting nominated for Grammys every single year, but they can't because they're not being sold
Right.
in the States.
But our
even
way-
though they're on labels that are owned by the U.S.
Right.
here in Canada, right?
And our way around that is to have some of the best songwriters in the world that
Right.
have American artists recording their
Yes,
songs and going out
exactly.
and winning those Grammys.
That's true, but it's still not the same
It's
thing.
not the
It's
same,
not the
no.
same thing as you know, as artists, you know, spending their entire lives building a craft, building a legacy, building a catalog, and then finding out that, okay, well, we're just as good as anybody else, but we're just not accepted there. We can tour there. Mm-hmm. There's certain acts, obviously, that have done incredibly well. Mm-hmm. You know, Lightfoot's one of them.
Yeah.
He spends most of his time touring the United States.
Mm-hmm.
He's a friggin' legend down there, right? But he'll never win a Grammy. He will never win a Grammy. He will never get a lifetime achievement from the Grammys. He will never get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he should.
Mm-hmm.
He should receive a lifetime achievement from the Grammys for what he's done in his career. The same way that Bob Dylan would, Leonard Cohen, who's a Canadian. See, the difference is Lightfoot chose to live in Canada his
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what the difference is.
It's amazing the difference between the two machines, the two industries, even in the touring world. The difference between the two industries, U.S. and Canada.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah. And I've seen both up close.
Yeah.
And it's different.
I myself, as a touring artist, have always done incredibly well in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons that I do so well down there is because I'm Canadian. That's it. That's all it takes. And if you go to Nashville and hang out with people down there that write songs or play Americana or bluegrass or any kind of acoustic music or whatever, and they hear you play and sing, they immediately know you're not American.
Yeah.
Even if you can hide your accent like I do, because I do sing with a neutral accent, and I learned to do that in the States because I was told that was required.
Right.
And I've always done it. You can very seldom hear me really sharpen an R or something like that in a vocal, right? I sing round R's and round O's, and you know what I mean? I learned that down there, but they know this because we're really good. Mm-hmm. Canadian players
US
and writers
musicians
are really, really good.
Really well respected.
We don't look at music the same way as them.
Yeah.
Right? That's a fact. We just don't. We have a whole other culture behind us.
Right. And the respect from their musical community is huge. Yep. It's just the public perception of Canadian music. It never gets, that respect doesn't translate to the public.
The same for Canadian TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're right, Ginger. You're absolutely
actors
right.
are the same way.
Yeah.
There's a few that
It's
broke out, but
actors and television and like all of that mechanical entertainment is always the same. It's always we're trying to copy something that the United States did first. Mm-hmm. But the point is, music should never be used for that. Music is universal, and you have to utilize. If you have a talent for music, you need to utilize it to bring people together, not to separate them. And that's why I feel like I've had as good a career as I've had, because I've always paid tribute to the American aspect of music in my own music, while still remembering where I'm from, right?
Yeah.
My music has a tinge to it, and a lot of other players in Canada are the same way. And we don't use music to go, well, I'm this or I'm that. We use music to go, hey, look, I got this lick from Muddy Waters, and I got this lick from Winston Fitzgerald.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what it should always be for everybody.
So,
right?
in a stroke of irony, we were looking at the statistics for the channel
Right.
a week ago, and there are more people viewing us tonight in the United States than there are in Canada.
That is correct.
also
the
a heck
heck's
of a lot
correct?
more people in the United States than there is in
Yeah.
Canada.
That's true.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah.
And you know I love you. I learned how to play music down there. Mm-hmm. How to really play it and get the tools to do what I do as a Canadian.
Yeah.
To bring out the ideas that I had from my own culture. Like, and everybody should do that. You don't have to go down there and live and play to do that.
No.
You just got to study. You got to study your favorite players, whether they're from Ireland, Australia, United States, Canada. I don't care where they're from. You've got to study where the roots are in your first love, right? That's where the secret is.
And the U.S. has such a depth
Oh my God.
of firsts in
It's
music
ridiculous,
and
yeah.
and the way music progressed. And
It's
grew.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right
I mean,
on.
we were talking about that earlier this evening watching that movie because, I mean, the Osborne brothers were the first bluegrass band to ever win Vocalist Group of the Year at the CMAs. They beat out the Statlers. You know what I mean?
Statler Brothers.
Yeah. They beat out the Statler brothers, right? And
Crazy.
then they were the first band to ever put electric bass in a bluegrass band.
Right.
And then the first band to ever plug in on stage. Ever. Everything was plugged in playing through Fender amps with a drummer.
Right.
Like that kind of innovation, right? That bleeds over everywhere in the world. Like that's what should drive you. When you see stuff like that and realize how many chances they took to not so much alienate their audience, which they may have alienated some people, but
At
to,
some of the time.
yes,
Yeah.
but to alienate the industry, right? They took that chance that, okay, well, we're not gonna we're playing stadiums with Merle Haggard, so we've got to be plugged in. So
Yeah.
and then we'll go to the Little Bluegrass Festival. We're gonna plug in. That's how we're playing now.
Yeah.
Most people readily accepted it,
Yeah.
and then there'll be some who don't. And the industry, you're walking that fine line, right? And the guys that walk that line and don't care who they piss off are the ones whose legacy lives forever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Dylan.
Yeah, everybody, anybody. You could list anybody. That's
Someone else just said Bob Dylan.
yeah, what-
Someone else just mentioned Bob Dylan.
yep.
Well, and they're thinking of when Dylan went electric.
It went electric.
And-
yeah.
Literally what he
And-
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, let's go to Gunning.
Yeah.
Gunning was a vocal.
Pisses off everybody.
Was a vocal.
Oh, sorry.
Vocal. No, seriously. For just 1 second
Yeah.
ago, Dave was a vocal proponent against the mill there
Yeah.
in that county, and he sang about it and he talked about it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And where is he at now? The man is beloved. He has a fan base all around the world because he wasn't afraid to piss somebody off.
Yep. Stand to his guns.
He stood his gun, stood his ground, said what he thought was the truth, and it paid off. And it pays off for everybody. Anybody who's willing to do that musically, professionally, spiritually, personally, all those things. If you're willing to do that, you have no worries.
Boy, you're starting to piss me off.
You pig,
You pigly ass some bitch.
some bitch. All right.
And we got
One
two
more.
su-
One more. Let's go for the super chat.
We
We're
got
gonna
two
close her
super
up.
chats left.
Okay.
One from Larry Reindress.
Larry Reindress.
Brother Larry. Where? Oh, you're not
Hey, he's
here.
not here tonight.
Okay.
It was
He's
so
out
nice
there.
to have you here, though, the other night.
It's awesome, Larry.
Love you, Larry.
He says, "Would you please bring back the Up Home Tonight idea?
Oh yeah.
You would be the perfect host along with Chris and Ginger."
Yep. Oh yeah. We're absolutely going to do it. We're going to continue the Live at Ginger's Barn thing.
I don't know if we'll get the one a
Hopefully-
week thing, but
Hopefully, it will become a 4. It'll become every week. I would love to see that. It would just be incredible. It would just be incredible.
There's no shortage of music to present.
My God, you know, I just read Larry gave me a letter that he wrote and received an answer back from ATV, and they hadn't listed how many artists were featured on that show in 8 years or whatever it was. It was like a ridiculous number. And there's 3 times that here now.
Do you know what would be
You know
great?
what I mean?
Be great to have Gordon Stobie out here.
Yeah, it would be.
Bring Gordon
I want
Stobie
Gordy
up here.
I want Skip
tonight.
up here. I would love to
Yes.
have Billy. You know what? Me and Skip and Gordy and Bill Doucette, who's now in Halifax, living in Halifax, should do a show here
Yeah.
and do like a remembrance of that
Up Home
show
Tonight.
and how much it meant to people.
Yeah.
Right? It meant
meant
a
a
lot
ton.
of people.
Yeah.
To hundreds of thousands of viewers
Yeah.
all over the Maritimes, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Larry.
Next.
we have a super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Baker.
Hey, Steven.
He says, sorry for the softball, but discussion with my son provoked it. If you could only have 3 guitars for the rest of your life, which 3?
Which 3? I would have my J.P. Cormier signature model from Boucher. I would have the Honduran mahogany dreadnought from Yeri, and my L56 from Yamaha. Those would be the 3 guitars.
There you go. Just that easy.
That was just that easy. Those are the only 3 guitars I would ever need.
Awesome.
I would miss my James Martin.
Yeah.
But if I only have 3, I have to.
But you could have a James Martin mandolin and
That's
sneak
right.
that
Or
one
a
in.
bazooki.
Or a
Yes.
bazooki
Yeah.
and
Yes,
sneak
sir.
that one in. Yeah. Could.
That's the end of Super Chats.
Okay,
There you go.
off we go. So the question for tonight, we're getting we're setting into number 15 and 16 of the list. The people going to the draw, a huge major draw that will feature a prize pack from all 3 sponsor stores.
The prize cornucopia.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. There's two major guitars in it now, and an amplifier, I believe. And we're gonna start as we get about halfway through. I'm gonna start listing.
By the time we're there, we're just going to give you your own music store.
Yeah, you're just gonna get
Essentially.
we're just gonna pull up in a truck and dump a bunch of shit in your driveway.
It'll be a flat deck with a shipping container.
That's right. So the question tonight is, my friend, who I wish I had known better. I wish I had known him better, but I got to know him pretty good. The little time I spent around him. Sonny Osborne, his brother Bobby, the Osborne brothers. The band that had the hit with Rocky Top. That's who brought Rocky Top to us, was the Osborne brothers. What was the name of the town in Kentucky where they were born? That is the question.
I can hear the Google machines.
The
going
Google
now.
machines are flying.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's not something you'd readily know.
No, that's a Google machine.
But it's also the place where his Sonny's, I think it's either Sonny or Bobby's son, one or the other, started the Kentucky School of Bluegrass Music there. And Bobby still teaches mandolin there every summer. So they come full circle. A little tiny town in Kentucky.
Are you stumping them?
I
No,
could
there's
be.
lots of answers coming in.
Okay.
All right.
So one of the guys is the answer Haydn?
Yes.
So Michael Easter was number 2, but he says he doesn't want to win.
Well, he's going to go on the list, though. Michael Easter, you're number 1.
He's number 2, actually. I
Okay.
just wanted to address that comment.
Okay.
Number 1 was Mark Smith.
Okay. Mark Smith. We don't have him.
No.
No, we don't. All right, there you go. Mark Smith, Michael Easter.
He says, please choose someone else if I was first. I'd just like to be first.
Mark Smith and Michael Easter, you've both now in the draw. Contestants 15 and 16. If you want to send us an email at jpcormier38@gmail.com. We'll put you in the database. We're going to be making the draw in a little while yet. We're going to get 50 people in this one
We have
because
a
it's so big.
we have a
Stroke?
challenge to the answer.
Okay.
Stephen Baker says it's not Haydn, it's Rourke.
No, they're born in Hyden, Kentucky.
He says he was born in Rourke and moved to Haydn. Did you search it?
Uh,
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm positive.
Okay.
That could be true that they were born somewhere else, but I mean, Rourke is probably 5 minutes from Haydn. Haydn's where they're credited as being from.
Okay.
That's where the school is. That's where, I don't know. Like, they didn't grow up there either. They grew up, when they started into music, they were in Dayton, Ohio. So they moved to Dayton, Ohio when they were children. Anyhow. But we're going with Haydn. Sorry. Anyhow, what was I saying?
He's enjoying a relapse right now.
I'm doing a knee stroke right now.
That was it.
I decided to address the contest. It's
Yeah.
just, it's important to.
That's it.
Cue the music, Ginger.
There it is. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Oh.
So Michael Easter, you did win number 2. So
Yeah,
just
you
have
got
to-
number 2, Michael.
you just
And
enjoy
don't
it.
worry.
We'll force you to enjoy it.
It'll be fine. Nobody's saying you're going to win, so don't get too excited.
No. And for the runner-up, we will mail you this last tomato from Ginger's garden.
Yep. And don't forget that after the big draw, there will be a private concert here on YouTube for all 50 contestants. Just for you. You will be sent a link to a private video from us. And also, if you haven't hit subscribe and like on these videos, please do. It's a massive help to us, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And if you want to join the private membership, just hit the join button, and you can get all kinds of cool stuff that no one else sees but those people. I'm JP Cormier. This is Chris Coote, the lovely, wonderful Ginger, the light of my life who keeps me sane and puts up with all my bullshit.
Please.
And
I can't keep myself sane.
That's it. So that's all, folks. Till next Wednesday. For you, but till tomorrow
I have
for
to
us.
put up with him right now.
He's enjoying me right now.
Enjoying Coot right now, and we're going to have one more beer, and then we're going to listen to this film.
Then we're going to take our schmaltzy shirts off,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to take our giant tiger shirts off, bitch.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jeff.
thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Clam head.
Yeah, you and your fucking pig.
Yeah.
All right.
Cute pig.
I love you guys. We love you. String Theory, every Wednesday night. YouTube, here, Ginger's Burn, JP, Chris, Ginger, stuff, talking, answer, questions.